One of the beauties of life is that we are always growing and evolving. Just like the seasons, we go through cycles. Cycles of abundance and blessings, along with those of pain and struggle. I find it very comforting in those more challenging times to know that, just like the seasons, these periods of time will not last forever. Instead, they will transition into something new, offering different opportunities and a chance for growth. This week I returned from a 2-week vacation to BC in Canada. Before I left, I headed to a local loch to enjoy the remaining abundance of summer, knowing full well that autumn would be in full swing when I returned. Wow, the light this evening is so beautiful. It is so calm. There's not even a breath of wind in the air. I was here a week ago for a walk and I saw one of the most incredible wildlife spectacles I have ever seen. There was hundreds of swallows up in the sky and swooping down and feeding on this loch here. The noise and the sight was just phenomenal. I was so mesmerised by that night, and the fact that we've got the same conditions tonight, I just had to come back in the hope that they will come back again this evening so I can actually get a proper video and photographs of it, because it was just incredible. I've seen about 5 swallows so far, nowhere near the hundreds that we had last time. But I'm really hopeful that things will materialise as we get nearer to sunset. I think we could be in luck. There's a number of swallows appearing right now. Still not quite the number we had the other night, but they're definitely increasing in number, which is really exciting. But right now behind me here is the most beautiful reflection. It is just like glass. I'm going to create an image of it because it's just so beautiful. I had been aware when photographing this image that there was a blue rope hanging between the trees. Some may have chosen not to take this image because of it, or removed it in a software such as Photoshop, but to me, it was part of the scene, and when seeing the image as a whole, I personally feel it added a little bit of character. For this second image here, I zoomed in slightly to the scene. The very small ripples in the water created a more artistic feel to this image, and when combined with the beautiful golden light of the evening, I found this image really spoke to me, bringing together the beauty of water, light and trees. It is happening again. This is incredible. Wow. This has got to be one of the most beautiful wildlife spectacles, especially when it comes to birds, that I've ever seen. Just like these migrating birds, as they headed back to Africa for the winter, I began a journey of my own, travelling 4,233 miles across the globe. With this experience came many opportunities for growth and abundance, but also dis-ease, as my body worked through its first time adapting to a new time zone and continent. When returning home,
I knew I needed to ground myself and decided to head back to the same location I had visited before my travels. The transition between summer and autumn was now clear, bringing with it the disappearance of the swallows, strong gusts of wind, and a change in colour. No longer feeling the warmth and abundance of summer and adapting once more to life in Scotland, I decided to create images of the new season I had returned to, combining them with the feelings of motion and beauty that travel had brought me. I loved the process of creating these. Doing so gave me an outlet for how I'd been feeling and a visual representation of what was going on, both in the physical world around me, but also internally. As the trees were yet to turn, the most obvious subject seemed to be these beautiful golden ferns. However, my favourite images in the end turned out to be this beautiful fly agaric mushroom. By layering a number of images on top of each other and doing some multiple exposure in camera, I was able to create these photographs here. And this final one turned out to be my favourite of the outing.
So as the summer comes to an end and the autumn begins, it also resembles another transition, a transition that's going on in my life and with my photographic work. For those beady-eyed of you, you may notice that I've changed my name away from Visualising Scotland and I've gone back to Kim Grant on YouTube and Kim Grant Photography on Instagram. The journey of Visualising Scotland over the last few years has been great. It gave me the opportunity to combine my photography with my local workshops and my tourism work. But through the birth of Photographic Connections back in March, I've come to realise that my passion doesn't lie in showcasing Scotland anymore. It lies in helping you all connect more deeply with yourself, with nature, and with others. And that's what I want to dedicate my life to moving forwards. In the next few weeks, I'll be hosting my final ever Murray Coast landscape photography workshops. I've had an absolute ball hosting these over the last few years, and I want to say a huge thank you to each and every one of you that have come along and supported that venture. It's been such an enjoyable experience. But one thing I've been reflecting on recently is I really want to create offerings that I personally would want to invest my money in. And I've come to realise that for me and my own photographic process, going out every day, driving around all day, visiting a number of locations and being out in all weather conditions for a whole day, I find it very tiring, and I also don't feel it allows me to really connect with the locations that I've been to. And there is so many people out there who have photography workshops under this format. And for most people, they absolutely love that format. And the other styles of photography workshops out there are usually day workshops where you learn a certain technique or idea in photography, such as your settings or composition. But again, I've come to realise that I've not once attended a technical workshop throughout my photography journey. It's not something that interests me, and it's also not something that I enjoy teaching. So it got me thinking, in this transition phase that we're going through in the seasons, how can I transition in my own work life to create workshops and offerings that I personally would feel that I wanted to invest my money in? I'm in the process of creating a completely new workshop format, a format that brings people together in one specific location that is really connected with nature, and delivering workshops that are more about discovering yourself. There's a good mix of community connection with sharings and discussions between those who choose to attend, but also solitary moments where you can go out with your camera and really connect with the world, relax and unwind. So when that workshop comes to an end, you go home feeling relaxed, rejuvenated, having learned a little bit more about yourself and seeing photography more as a tool to uncover more about yourself and connect with the world more deeply when you get home. And in a couple of weeks, I've got a group of my community members coming up to Scotland to help me trial some of the ideas that I have for these new workshop experiences, which is super exciting. And to complement this, next week I'm beginning the only known research-based mindful photography practitioners training programme, which will bring together all of my personal experiences with photography, the mindfulness aspects I've learned in my own journey, my nursing career, and combine it with all this research-based stuff around mindfulness and mindful photography specifically, so that I can transmute some of that information and create exercises, workshops and offerings that can really help you guys in a much deeper level moving forwards. So that's what next year brings. As the winter will turn into the spring, that will be launched. And I'm so excited to bring these new offerings to you when the time comes. But for now, there's 2 workshops left under Visualising Scotland. I've had 2 cancellations on this month's one, and there's still 2 spaces left on next month's one. So if you've always wanted to come to the Moray Coast and photograph a number of the locations that I showcase regularly in my videos, this is your last chance. And because they are my final workshops under this format, I'm going to do my very best to make them workshops to remember. I'm thinking about your own life as you move from summer into autumn, or if you're in the southern hemisphere, spring into summer. Is there a transition going on for you right now? And can you relate it with the changing of seasons and how you feel when you're out in nature? I'm finding that the more I connect with nature, the more these transitions in my life are mimicking the changing of seasons in nature. I think it brings it more energy and more power, and it really helps with the process of coming up with new ideas, of embracing our unique beauty and bringing more feeling and meaning to our lives and what we offer to others. I wish you all a very blessed and creative week, and I look forward to seeing you all again next Sunday.